Hello everyone and welcome to another Rise of Kingdoms video. This is Dragothien here, and today we're going to do an extension of our Legendary Commander Ranker series, and we just did the City Garrison Edition. Now we're going to do the ARK Garrison Edition because the rules of KVK and the regular kingdom and even just generic city do not apply here because in the ARK you don't get dead troops. So we need to have a separate edition just for Ark of Osiris and Osiris League. And I figure since we're winding down towards the end of Osiris League and we're coming up on an ARK weekend, this would be beneficial for you guys as we continue this series and to go ahead and do this edition of it now. So let's jump right in. We're going to do the same thing as all the other ones. We're going to go this is just the Legendary Edition, not anything to do with epics. We're going to do that part later. We're going to go through infantry and then all the other commanders all the way through, and we're going to give you the full ranking on where they should be. Again, best means that you should definitely max these guys and have these as commanders for this purpose. Better means they're definitely a good option for that, and if you have them close, you should do it. Good means that they'll work, but don't necessarily either need to be maxed or don't necessarily have to put a whole lot into it. And then finally, fail means they absolutely do not work in this situation. You should not use them for this purpose, and just avoid them altogether. So really you want to stick towards the better and best categories in this ranker. So let's jump right off. We're going to start with Alex. Now, Alex had a little bit of feedback in my last video regarding, well, some of his skills still work, and I agree, but his second and third skills do not. His first and fourth skills work. One's a shield with a little bit of a damage debuff around your city if you use him that way. And then the other one is basically a 40% attack buff. So all you're doing with Alex in a garrison situation is having a shield and a 40% attack buff. While that's great, to me it's not enough to put him in a good, better, or best category when you're not utilizing half the skills that a commander has. I have to put you in a fail category. 40% attack bonus, while it sounds really big, by itself is not that much. Considering his third skill would have stacked basically on top of all that, and almost doubled that number. So Alex, to me, still is a fail. I understand that he does have some purposes, and he does have some skill damage as well. But again, it's while on the map. That does not apply to the garrison additions. So he still, to me, is a fail. That's my reasoning behind it. Leonidas can be in the better category in my opinion. He does have some stuff while on the map as well, but he can be in the ARK. He can be garrisoned with full infantry, and there are some things in his skill set that require full infantry. So let's put him in the better category. His skills do lend towards garrison. He can be paired very well with Konstantin or Guan or things like that. Primary here, and then also Richard, who we're going to be coming up to very soon here. Charles. So Charles, in ARK, we're talking about ARK here. I still think he can be in the best category, borderline, because there are better, than him. You know what? Maybe I just might have talked myself out of it. Let's put him in the better category. He's good. He's very good, but not necessarily in the best category for ARK. For ARK only. For everything else, he's in the best category, hands down. But for ARK, I want to give you a very specific set of commanders in the best category. I want this to be very, very specific on what you should be using in ARK, better and best. So he's going to be in the better category, although probably at the top of the better category, and really could be in either one. Guan Yu. I want to do some testing on him. For ARK. This is an ARK video. This is an ARK Garrison video. Yeah, fail. I got to put him in fail, even if he works in Garrison, right? And I'm going to be doing some testing on him with Garrison, because right now my favorite city Garrison is Sun Tzu YSG because of the amount of troops I have. But Guan could be a replacement for Sun Tzu even without the Garrison tree. However, in ARK, you want tankiness, survivability. You want enough time to be able to add reinforcements into a structure, and Guan does not provide that. Guan does not provide that because his heal requires you to leave battle, and you can't do that in a garrison. So I'm going to put him as a fail. He deserves to be a fail. Richard. This is the only garrison video you will see me put Richard as a best or anything other than fail. He is best. He is part of the best way to survive ARK because he heals so much inside of a garrison. And again, in ARK, you don't take dead, which is the main strike against Richard being in a garrison structure. So because you don't take dead and because you need to have maximum survivability, this is where Richard actually shines. So definitely use Richard in your garrisons for Ark of Osiris and Osiris League. He's used on end tier, top tier alliances in Osiris League right now. So you should definitely use him. Konstantin, same thing. He has a very powerful anti-skill damage capability. He also has the attack debuff from his main skill. He also has a ton of infantry health, which is huge. We already did a video on that. You should check that out if you haven't done so already. And again, his skill damage reduction on the 4 skill, and then certainly just everything comes together to be very, very good. And again, a big piece of the anti-Attila Takeda rally. So definitely should look into using him 100%. Let's go. I think that's going to wrap up the legendary infantry commanders. Yes, it does. All right, let's go to Charlemagne. Charlemagne's a fail. I think this is obvious. He's just not built to be a garrison commander. He is not that good in really any situation. And then we're talking about a very specific critical need situation in ARK garrisoning. So he's just not going to be part of anything that you're going to want to do with ARK garrisoning structures. Freddy. I think we talked about this with, with Alex. So a lot of his skills don't apply while you're in garrison. You have to either be part of a mixed troop army or you have to be in the open field to get the troop capacity bonus. So to me, he's a fail. He can be used as a second if you want to, but there are better secondaries out there for pure skill damage that give you more bonuses to a garrison structure. So I'm just going to put him as a fail too. And in fact, I'm going to make these guys really tight because I got a feeling we're going to have a lot of fails. Julius Caesar. You know what? I'm going to put him in the good category, and the only reason, because he should not be used in the garrison pretty much ever, but he's been in the good category for the city, and I think he should still be in the good category for the ARK. His shield and his defense reduction stuff does work in this situation, although, again, there are so many better commanders to do that with. But Caesar can be put in a pinch, I guess. He's not the worst in the world, but definitely not better or best. Wu. Definitely a best commander. She was a game changer in Season 1, and she still applies very, very well in Season 2. You just got to make sure that you're using her against stuff that's not Attila Takeda. She shines anti-swarm, which is what a lot of strategies utilize right now, so she's very strong there. But again, as long as it's not Attila Takeda, she does really good on that rally. So I would definitely have her in best. You should have her in top tier Osiris League teams, and anybody who has that for an ARK garrison is going to be in good shape. Ethelfled. I'm going to put her as a fail. For ARK, again, this is for ARK. It's just not, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, it requires mixed troops for half the stuff. Slows, which don't do anything when you're getting rallied. I mean, this is a debuffing army against a rally coming into your garrison, but you don't want this individual commander as a garrison commander. Mehmed, same thing. He is a city rallier first and foremost, and because of that, he just does not have a need to be here in the city or in the ARK garrison edition here. Barca, same thing. I mean, I think we can pretty much put almost every single commander here from the leadership tree in the fail category, just simply because, again, most of their stuff requires multiple types of troops, on the field stuff, debuffs and things like that. And as a garrison commander, you don't need any of those things. You need tankiness, you need healing, you need anti-skill damage, you need anti-counterattack and normal attack damage. I mean, you need all that stuff, and these guys just don't have it. These are great for debuffing a rally hitting you, but not necessarily being part of the garrison itself. Ramses. I'd put him as a decent second in the good category. He's made to be an open field rallier as well. Kind of an upgraded version of Freddy, but with archers. He can be very, very devastating on the field. And if you're getting rallied with a Richard and anything, so Alex Richard or something like that, Ramsey's wouldn't be a bad idea if you're full archer, because he's basically an anti-Richard commander. So that may make a lot of sense to do that. That's why he's in the good, but he's definitely not in the better or best. Artemisia. So I'm going to put her in the best category, and I hinted at this in the previous videos, but she's got things that she does really, really well, and then she's got things that she does very, very poorly in. Garrison's one of those things she does really, really well. However, caveat, she's not anti-swarm. So this commander can be swarmed down, garrison-wise, fairly easily, but she takes out Attila Decatur rallies. She takes out general nuking rallies relatively easily. As long as they're not supported and it's just a rally, she can handle herself on her own, which half the time in ARK is really all you need. Now, a lot of times at the very beginning, there's a lot of swarming and things like that. That's when Wu will come into play, Konstantin Charles, Konstantin Richard, Richard Charles, Richard everything, right? So you want to have Artemisia in your playlist for a garrison commander, because any Attila Decatur rally that's just sent, which happens a lot whenever you jump into the middle for the Ark of Osiris, she basically can handle it on her own if you've got a full structure. YSG, I think we always have to put him in best. He's not necessarily top tier here, because again, the commanders that you're pairing together nowadays in ARK are very specifically designed, and YSG is a really great generic second. He is a garrison commander by default as well. He has the garrison talent tree, but I just don't see there being a huge need for YSG really kind of being a major mainstay, but he's a good secondary. If you're going to have a damage dealing secondary, there's tons of swarming happening, and around structures, there's no better AoE commander than YSG, so he's definitely in the better category. Edward. Huge fail. There's just no value for him in a flag. He's super squishy. He takes a ton of time to generate, well, not to generate rage, but to actually fire off his first skill, because his rage requirement is so high. There's just no need for it. Myris, again, I kind of put her in the same category as Ethelfled. She's a great debuff to a rally that's getting your garrison attacked, but not necessarily as a garrison commander. She just doesn't have any kind of defensive talents garrison-wise whatsoever. She's strictly offensive, and again, can be used to really debuff a rally because of her skill damage debuff that she applies, as well as just general overall nuking capability. Very, very nice. El Cid, I'll put him in the good category. He has some uses. Some of his things do lend towards being in a garrison. You'll see that a lot in Season 1 and 2 of KVK, but for ARK, again, those same things that make him decent in Season 1 and 2 of KVK do kind of work in ARK Garrison. Again, not something you should really like push for. This is the guy I want for this purpose, but he works. Like if he's there and you need to switch to a garrison commander because all you have is low Harbutica there, El Cid in a pinch is not bad at all. Khan. In a pinch he can be good. I think that, again, you've got to be full cav in this garrison, but you want to have him as a primary, and you definitely want to have, I mean, this would be a full nuking garrison. I mean, there's no way around it. You wouldn't be very defensive at all. You would need to be very, very understanding that this is not going to give you the survivability you're looking for, but it will cause a lot of damage to that rally, and if you just need to nuke the rally down, that's not a bad thing to have to deal with. I think Minna's in the same boat. Not a problem at all there. And then Double C, man, anything that reduces defense I'm not a huge fan of, but again, as a second, not the end of the world. He does have some healing capability, and his nuke is very, very strong, but again, good category at best, and again, maybe even a fail. Saladin. I'll put him in the better category because his capabilities are very similar to that as when he's in the open field. But, again, not the best. He can be paired with Takeda and be very, very strong in a flag with Cav only. But, again, I mean, this is for the anti-Attila stuff, which is why he's very relevant in ARK Garrison Edition. Otherwise, again, you really want the standard tried and trues for your garrison commanders. Attila, just because, again, the prevalence of Attila rallies is so heavy, I'm going to put him in better as well because Attila Takeda is a valid and decent garrison to structure in Ark of Osiris. It's tanky, it's got a heal, it's got all the things that we're looking for when it comes to garrisoning structures, and you can rally with him too. So when you rally something, you automatically garrison that structure. If you take it, you're automatically garrisoned there with Attila Takeda, and it works. It works. The only thing that really kind of takes that down is a Saladin Takeda rally or another Attila Takeda rally, or something to do with Artemisia, but I've never seen it really work as a rally, so something to think about. Takeda as well, same category. These three are kind of just tied at the hip from a garrison perspective. You want to have Takeda secondary because he has the mobility tree, and that's hot garbage in most situations in this game, unless you're just wanting to move around fast. So you want to have Saladin or Attila primary on the garrisoning structures for the Ark. Now we're down to the gathering commanders, and I think we all kind of know where these guys go. I'm just going to slide them over and not really talk too much about them. So we got Cleo, Sundiak, and Mop Guy Ashida, which is depressing, by the way, because I really had high hopes for him. When I heard that we were maybe coming out with a commander like that, I was like, cool, a warlord, a Japanese warlord. Let's get some more fighting commanders, maybe a leadership skill or something like that, or you know, even an infantry skill or an infantry attack or whatever. I don't care. Something. No, we got gathering. But this is the list, guys, and again, very, very light at the top. There's only a few commanders that are really super critical here, that are really, really super critical for you to, from a legendary perspective, to have. Now, again, some of these can be moved around a little bit. I think overall, quite a few of these can be, you know, up or down one different tier if you want to. It's really a personal preference. But that being said, I also think these are pretty spot on too. I think these are really spot on. Now, this is endgame stuff, guys. So everything you're hearing on these ranker videos, this is endgame content. This is endgame Osiris League, semifinal, final type stuff. And you want to have these commanders in these situations. You just do. So that's the spread there. And again, Charles, I think you could make a serious argument for being in the best category. And honestly, these three Cav commanders too, in the right situations, can be the best garrison that you could have in any particular situation. So something to consider. I think Leo can go up, down, or sideways, to be honest with you. And these guys, I think, you know, it's one of those things where you've rallied something, and the rallying commanders that you used are okay for open field and rally, but are terrible for garrison. And then you've got somebody that threw a Genghis Minna or a Genghis Double C. Not the worst thing in the world to go ahead and throw him over there. It's not the best, which is why he's in the good category, but it'll work. It'll work in a pinch, right? And then all these guys just don't. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't. None of these work for the purposes that we're trying to have in this situation, ARK Garrison. Alex, again, I know we're probably going to get some comments below on Alex could be at least in the good category. And sure, if you want to throw him in the good category, by all means do so. I have to put my foot down and the line in the sand and all that stuff. I think that he is just not supposed to be in the garrison because a lot of his skills say while on the map. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Take care.